The Tennessee Titans absolutely dominated day 3 of the NFL draft, adding weapons on top of weapons for Cam Ward. And I'm going to break it all down on today's edition of Locked On Titans.
You are Locked On Titans, your daily Tennessee Titans podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Titans podcast. I am your host, Tyler Rowland. Titans fans, day 3 of the NFL draft has come and gone, and I thought the Titans dominated the final day of the NFL draft. I'm going to go over every single pick, tell you what these players do well, what they need to improve, how they fit within the Tennessee Titans system. Also, I'm going to talk about the overall approach that the Tennessee Titans have taken here and the through line that we can find between all of the picks. Before I dive into it, I do want to thank you for making Locked On Titans your first listen each and every day. Remember, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content all year round, always for free. You're not going to beat that anywhere else. Make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day. Speaking of every day, if you aren't an everydayer, you need to be one. If this draft process has not proved it to you already, I don't know what else will. I am putting out the best Tennessee Titans content in the world consistently every single day. Bonus episodes on the weekend, live recaps, the film content on the Tic Tac Titans YouTube channel. I got an Elic Ayomanor video up where he dominated Travis Hunter, my Cam Ward content, all of the draft content I'm going to have up and the film content I'm going to have up later this week here and on the Tic Tac Titans film channel. Again, get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day. But with that being said, the Tennessee Titans added weapons on top of weapons. On day 3 in the NFL draft, they had 2 wide receivers. They had a tight end. They had a running back. 4 of their 6 picks are spent on offensive weaponry, and that's exactly what they needed to do. And here's the thing. Some Titans fans did not agree with the order that these players went in. But nonetheless, when you look at the group as a whole, regardless of your draft board rankings and all of that, the Tennessee Titans got a great group of guys, and this day 3 really brought it home. They start at pick 103 to start the 4th round and start the day off. They take Chimere, Dike, the wide receiver out of Florida, 6 foot, 196 pounds, 22.4 years old. Look, people kind of freaked out about Chimere Dike. They're like, who is this guy? Why did they take them so early? But I think this is a perfectly fine range for Chimere Dike. He is a day 3 wide receiver. Incredible speed. This guy has deep speed, and that's exactly what Titans fans were asking for. Titans fans said, hey, we need a wide receiver. We got to take wide receiver. This team needs speed. They need speed at wide receiver. Also, we need a returner. The Titans need a returner. Well, you get all of that with Chimere Dike. Speed, and he is great on crossing routes. He is excellent on crossing routes. And guess who is very good at throwing crossing routes? Guess who had a ton of crossing routes throughout his time in college? Cam Ward. They are getting players who fit perfectly with what Cam Ward does well on the football field. And Cam Ward even said in his press conference, we're attacking vertically. We're not window shopping here. No, we're throwing it. We're not just doing it to fake you out. I'm throwing the ball down the field. So a guy who's great on crossing patterns with great speed going across the field, that's exactly what you want with Cam Ward. He can track the football on deep routes. He has good ball skills to go up and make plays. He is a great blocker and, again, a good kick returner as well. And then we get to the through line. Incredible football character. Incredible. Became a captain immediately when he got to Florida. He did great work in the community. I talked to a source who is inside with the Florida Gators, said elite character. That did community work, did charity work. The leaders, even on the defense, the leaders of the Florida defense respected Chimere Dike. So high-level football character guy with great speed and return ability, whose skill set schematically fits perfectly with Cam Ward. And then they add Gunnar Helm, and I almost lose my mind. What an incredible ad at pick 120 in the 4th round for the Tennessee Titans. Gunnar Helm, 6'5", 245 pounds, out of Texas, 22.6 years old. My guy James Foster from No Flags Film, compared him to TJ Hawkinson. That's his comparison for Gunnar Helm. So Gunnar Helm, great at sitting down in the zones, great at attacking the football. He can go up top and moss people to go get the football with his length and his size. Very savvy route runner. He is not an elite athlete. He ran like a 4.8 40 or something like that, but everyone close to him says he was injured bad at the combine, but he's a competitor and he wanted to compete. So he competed. His 40 time, I've heard, is closer to a 4.6, maybe high 4.5. He's much faster than what his combine testing says. Like, he was injured. So with that in mind, regardless of that, even if it were true, even if he ran a 4.8, 4.7 40, even if it was real, I would love to pick a Gunnar Helm at 120 because the Titans desperately needed a balanced wide tight end. Think about a traditional tight end with his hand in the dirt next to the offensive tackle, one-on-one ISO blocks. Look, he needs to add weight. He's 245 pounds. He's got to add about 10, 15 pounds of muscle to be who the Titans truly want him to be. But Chikakonkwo isn't a balanced wide tight end. He's a move tight end. He's an H-back tight end like Delaney Walker was for San Francisco. You need I'm not saying he's like this, but you need a George Kittle, a Mark Andrews, a Travis Kelce, a TJ Hawkinson, a balanced tight end who can play all three downs, who can block, who's physical, and he has incredible willingness to block. He wants to be physical and dominate guys on the line of scrimmage. He just needs to add strength. But he had, like 800 yards for Texas last year? So everybody was screaming, Dike only had 2 touchdowns. Where's the production? You want production? You got it. Gunnar Helm is an excellent pick with Cam Ward. You have given your quarterback a safety blanket to grow with for years to come. And then the Titans throw the ball up, boom, and knock it out of the park at pick number 36. They trade up 5 spots with the Baltimore Ravens. And for what? What did it cost them? All they did is move back 5 spots in the 6th round. So I get to move up, or 5 spots. So I get to move up 5 spots in the 5th round. And all I have to do is give up 5 spots in the 6th round. 5 spots in the 5th round are more valuable than 5 spots in the 6th round. Why would the Ravens do that? I don't really care. What a great trade by the Titans. And they go up and they get a player that if you told me the Titans took him at 52, if you said the Titans took Elic Ayomanor at 52, I would not have batted an eye. I was like, okay, all right, good player. I had him in my 3rd tier of wide receivers, and they got him in the 6th tier of wide receivers. Elic Ayomanor, 6'2", 210 pounds, still only 21 years old, about to turn 22, out of Stanford. He is a big, physical outside wide receiver. He has great size, obviously 6'2", 210. He has great length as well. He played in a bad offense at Stanford, a bad offense, and still was able to be productive and dominant. All right? He's a good route runner for a guy his size. Now, I don't think he he doesn't snap his routes off and sink his hips real fast. He's 6'2", 210. If he could do stuff like that, he would have went, top 50 like Jaden Higgins. He's not quite as smooth of a mover as Jaden Higgins, but he's still very smooth for his size. Very smooth. Got yards after catch ability. He doesn't have great wiggle or suddenness. He's not going to juke guys out, and he's not Deebo Samuel or A.J. Brown and stuff like that. But he gets the ball in his hands in space, and we see it on tape from my film breakdown about him against Travis Hunter. He can get upfield and get yards. He had multiple big-time yards after catch plays in that matchup against Travis Hunter. And he's flashed the ability to dominate in catch point situations, like going over top of people and grabbing the ball away from them. Now, again, he's not a snappy, sudden route runner. Okay? He's not those things. He also, I would like him to be more physical at the catch point. Don't get knocked away. Keep your hands extended. Catch the ball through contact. He needs to get better at those things to be the best version of the player that he needs to be. But with what he brings to the table, size, speed, catching ability, routes, and I'm going to do a quick cut up of him blocking on the outside. He wants to erase you from the face of the planet. Think Jawan Jennings from the 49ers. He wants to erase you. So incredible weapons to start 1, 2, 3 from the Tennessee Titans, but they weren't done yet. Today's bonus edition of Locked On Titans is brought to you by LinkedIn. As a small business owner, your work doesn't end when the clock hits 5. I get it. Me too. Your business is always on your mind, which means when it's time to hire, you need a partner that works just as hard as you do. And that's where LinkedIn Jobs comes in. When you clock out, LinkedIn clocks in. LinkedIn makes it easy to post your job for free, share it with your network, and get qualified candidates all in one place. Post your job. It's LinkedIn's new feature that can help you write job descriptions and then quickly get your job in front of the right people with deep candidate insights. And here's a pro tip. Add the hashtag hiring frame to your profile picture to double your reach to qualified candidates. No wonder 72% of small businesses say LinkedIn helps them find high quality hires. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. Titans fans, let's continue today's Day 3 recap of the 2025 NFL Draft for the Tennessee Titans. We talked about weapons on weapons on weapons that the Titans added at the start of Day 3, but now I got to talk about their final 3 picks that had incredible value. Before I dive in, I want to thank you again for making Locked On Titans your first listen each and every day. Remember, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content all year round, always for free. Make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day. If you're watching live on YouTube, throw a thumbs up on the video, throw a tighten up down in the chat. Shout out to my folks out there tuning in, my everydayers out there. Couldn't do it without you guys. But we get to the final 3 picks for the Tennessee Titans. And I guess in theory, the Titans could trade back into the 7th round. I don't think that that's going to happen. I think they already had their pre-draft press conference with some of the scouts and stuff like that. I don't think the Titans are trading back into the 7th round to make a pick. It's going to be undrafted free agent time for the Titans, which we'll talk about in the coming days. But you get to pick number 167 for the Titans in the 5th round, and they finally go with what I've been talking about the entire draft is an interior offensive lineman. The Tennessee Titans needed to get a development interior offensive lineman in this draft, and they go out and get Jackson Slater, the interior offensive lineman out of Sacramento State. Big-bodied guy for an interior guy, 6'3", 318. Again, I've been telling you this. The Titans want to be a bigger football team. They want big edges. They want big tackles. They want big interior offensive linemen. No more Aaron Brewers who are tougher than a $2 steak. All right? No more of that. That's not what they want bigger-bodied guys. So when you get a guy who's 6'3", 318 pounds, you check that box. So number 1, size box is checked. Now we look at athleticism. You're taking an offensive lineman late in the draft. Take an athletic guy who you can build up their strength and you can build up their technique. You don't want to take a guy who's not athletic because there's no potential. And if you're talking about a guy on day 3, then what are we doing here? You know what I mean? So I love the Jackson Slater pick. He's a great athlete for a guy his size. Really good movement skills. You see it on display when he pulls and zone blocking, when he gets to the 2nd level, combination blocks where he double teams and then moves up to the linebacker spot. Like, he's really good in space. He has really good movement ability for an interior offensive lineman. Ton of experience as well. He started over 40 games in his career. He has great hands. When he gets his hands on you, he can lock them up. He's got strong, powerful hands. He's got good anchor for an interior offensive lineman, which is a great sign, not getting bowled over and driven back by the power rushes and things like that. But look, at the end of the day, he doesn't have great power going forward. He's not going to be a drive blocker. If you get him one-on-one with a nose tackle, he's not going to move him out of the gap. That's not who he is right now, okay? So you got to keep that in mind. We're talking about a 6th-round prospect out of Sacramento State. There's a lot to like, and there's development to be had here. I think he can develop to a starter for the Titans. I think it would be at center. I think Lloyd Cushenberry comes back this year. If he's not himself, the Titans could move on. If he is himself, he'll play this year, probably play next year as well, the year after that. And then the Titans could conceivably move to Slater as their starting center. Slater can play guard or center, but I think for the Titans, if he were to find a starting role long-term, I think he would be the Titans' center of the future after they move on from Lloyd Cushenberry in a year or two. So I think that would be the plan for Slater, but he comes in right away right now, and he competes with Corey Levin for the backup center job. And then, with some of the other veteran offensive linemen that the Tennessee Titans have brought in as well. But I love the pick to grab an interior offensive lineman with those last 3 spots. I've been doing that in a lot of my mock drafts for a while now. But then the Titans move to pick number 83. They had pick number 178, and then they moved back to pick number 183 in that trade with the Ravens. Again, why would the Ravens do that? They just... You give away 5 spots that are more valuable than the 5 spots that you got back. Whatever. I won't wonder. I'm not going to look the gift horse in the mouth. Okay. Pick number 183, the Titans take Marcus Harris, cornerback out of Cal. He played at Idaho for 3 seasons and was a good player, bumped up his college football level so that he could prove himself. He's a smaller cornerback. Okay. He's 5'10", 190 pounds. He's a smaller cornerback, but he's actually got decent length for a guy his height and his size, which helps him out when he presses guys at the line of scrimmage and he gets in people's face. He can play on press. He can play off ball, off press coverage as well. Great movement skills and great ball skills. He had 8 interceptions in college. He had 40-plus pass breakups in college. This guy gets his hands on the football, period. But doesn't have great size. Again, he can be a tad over-aggressive at times and get himself beat. He's a Tennessee Titans day 3 cornerback. That's what they want. They want feisty, physical, fast cornerbacks, even if they're a little undersized, like Jarvis Brownlee Jr., for example. Even if they're a little undersized, that's what they want. Guys who aren't scared to get in your face at the line of scrimmage, who are fast enough to run with you. They don't care what size they are. So I like Marcus Harris as a guy that I think the Tennessee Titans could potentially groom to take over for Roger McCreary if they let him leave in free agency after the year. Also worth mentioning that, and it's a day 3 pick, so you better. But Marcus Harris has played a ton of special teams coverage. A ton of special teams coverage snaps. So he's already a guy. It's not like you're taking a guy and you got to make him into a special teams player. No, this guy is already a special teams player ready to go. And so isn't the last guy. It's Kalel Mullins, the running back out of Michigan. And if you're a nerd like me and you hear Kalel, you think, Superman? For folks who aren't as nerdy as I am out there, Superman's real name on his planet of Krypton is Kal-El. That's Kal-El is his birth name. He gets to Earth and then he's named Clark Kent. Well, it sounds like Kalel Mullins' parents are nerds just like me because he literally said, yes, they named me after Superman. Kalel Mullins. Superman Mullins is what I'm going to call him from now on. 6'2", 220 pounds, a monster of a running back. He's a former linebacker. He was a linebacker, and in college, they transitioned him to a running back because they had injuries at running back, and they asked him if he would move to the other side of the ball. That's what kind of team player this guy is. During college, when your career is on the line and you're playing one spot, you're going to move me to the other side of the football? He didn't care. This is my football team. I'm doing what's best for the team. That is why the Tennessee Titans wanted him so bad. He is truly a locker room guy. And to keep that up, Jalen Harrell, who the Titans got on day 3 last year out of Michigan, Superman Mullins was at his draft party when the Titans drafted him. So they're best friends. And Harrell is a really high character football guy. So I love this addition of Kalel Mullins. Power. He'll drive the pile. He has great straight line speed. Obviously great signs. But he did just transition to a running back recently. So the vision, the instincts, they need to improve. He doesn't have much wiggle. Like he's a big power back. He's not going to, juke you out, throwing a nasty spin move. But when you have Tajay Spears and you have Tony Pollard, who are both more speed backs than power backs, now you have a guy that complements them perfectly, can run those short yardage situations, can get that goal line stuff, can power through and get the Titans those short yardage situations that they need to be better at this year. He is a perfect complement to those running backs. And like I said, day 3, you better be able to play special teams. And who better to play special teams than a 6'2", 226-pound former linebacker with great straight line speed? Sounds like a special teams demon to me. So, weapons on weapons on weapons, potential starters, late round value. Again, I know that there have been Titans fans that have reacted negatively throughout the process, but I love what the Tennessee Titans have done with this draft, and I'm going to give you some of my big picture thoughts on that right now. Today's bonus episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. The NBA playoffs are here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. I love how FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking my favorite team or diving into player props, whether it be three-pointers, steals, assists. FanDuel has so many ways for me to bet my favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine your live prop bets into a same-game parlay. Plus, after the game tips off, you can combine those live bets into a same-game parlay. I just had to tell you guys twice because it's so nice. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com to claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Again, that's FanDuel.com. Titans fans, let's cap off today's Day 3 NFL Draft recap. The Tennessee Titans make 6 picks, 4 on offense, 2 wide receivers, add valuable depth, and I absolutely love this class. Before I dive into my big picture thoughts here, do want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Titans your first listen. Again, I'm going to have a ton of draft content out this week. I'm going to have a ton of film content out on the Tic Tac Titans film channel. You guys need to make sure that you're subscribed here on Locked On Titans. Go over to Tic Tac Titans, get subscribed over there. If you want to be the smartest Tennessee Titans fan that you could possibly be and know these new players better than anybody else, you're going to be able to do that with me here, the Locked On Titans podcast, and with the film channel, Tic Tac Titans. But with that being said, this draft to me, as I said yesterday, and it was proven even more here, is the first step to building this foundation. The first step to creating the culture that is the next era of Tennessee Titans football. And you see it with every single pick the Tennessee Titans have made. They picked guys who love football. They love football. They are high character football guys. And in my mind, that creates a high floor. I think everybody that the Tennessee Titans picked has a high floor because of what they already do. Do all of these players have high potential upside? I think not quite, especially day 3. I think everybody on day 2 definitely does have high potential. But more importantly than anything, even if these guys don't turn into the absolute apex of who they are still going to be valuable, solid role players on this football team that help establish a culture. I want to go to a couple of different things. Number one, I want to give you this comparison. So a lot of fans want the Titans to be like the Eagles. A lot of fans want the Titans to be like the Ravens, where they take a chance on all these high talent, risky character players. And I would tell you this. The Titans are not in a position to be that team right now. They're not. Okay? The Eagles can take a chance on these high character risk players with high upside because they already have a strong locker room culture. The Eagles had Jalen Hurts, Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey, Brandon Graham, Darius Slay. They already had veterans and a culture established that will allow them to bring in a risky player because they know that they have leaders in the locker room and an established winning culture that will get the best out of those players and hold them accountable. Guys, the Titans are telling you they did not think the locker room was very good last year. The Titans did not like their locker room. The Titans don't have a good enough culture and a solid enough foundation to take these high-end risks. They're not in a position to get the most out of these players right now. That's a different level. The Titans are at the bottom right now. They need to set their culture, set their foundation, create the locker room environment that they need for this group to blossom. To me, think about it like dirt. Think about it like soil. If you don't have good, nutritious soil, your flowers and your plants are not going to grow. The Titans have poisoned soil right now. So what they're trying to do is reestablish a good baseline so that those flowers and those plants can grow healthy. They have to fix their soil before they worry about their growth. Okay? And that's what they're doing right here. They are laying down a nice level of topsoil, hitting it with some good water, some fertilizer, and getting it ready to grow. Okay? I meant to say ready to go, and I said ready to grow. That's even better. All right? Accidental greatness. Okay? But another thing that I want to mention here is something that Tiki Barber said recently on a podcast, former NFL running back Tiki Barber. I watched the video, but he talked about how NIL has made scouting more difficult for the NFL. Why is that? Because a lot of these players already have been paid. You're a college wide receiver. You got paid $4 or $5 million. You're a 20-year-old kid. You may not realize that that money ain't going to be enough for you to live the rest of your life. You're thinking, hey, I got paid already. How easy is it? I'm just going to go to the NFL and do what I'm doing right now, and I'll get paid again. I've been paid. I've earned it already. See, before NIL, you didn't get crap in college except a $20 handshake if you were a normal player. And you really had to bust your butt and earn millions of dollars. Now you already have millions of dollars when you come into the NFL. Are you going to work as hard as you need to? Are you going to stay dedicated? If you don't really love football like that, are you going to look at that $4 or $5 million and say, I got $4 or $5 million. I don't really want to play football anymore. NIL has made drafting even harder because a lot of these guys are already entitled. Who are you going to be at the next level? Well, the Titans scouts just talked about it in their press conference to end things off. They said, if we go out and we draft guys who love football, they love the game of football, then it doesn't matter how much money they get paid, they're going to continue to love the game of football. No matter how hard things get and how many people call you a bum on social media and how many times your coaches play your mistakes on film and how many times you getting this and that and this, blah, 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 and criticism here and there, are you going to be able to persevere? Are you going to push the extra mile? Are you going to do the extra work? You're only going to do that if you love football. So the Tennessee Titans, in my opinion, have had a fantastic draft. They have drafted high character players that I think have high floors to contribute, but also have high ceilings to be experts in their role for the Titans. And I think Kevin Winston and Femi Oladipo and Elic Ayomanor and Gunnar Helm all could be great players. And of course, Cam Moore. So high floor, high ceiling, high character. That's what I think the Titans have done in this draft. And they've got a ton of really good athletes. Jackson Slater at offensive line, great athlete for the position. Elic Ayomanor has an over 9 RAS score. The Titans were one of the worst rosters in the NFL in terms of RAS score, which is a composite grade for athleticism based on testing during the pre-draft process. Well, the Titans went out and got ballers here with great athleticism. High athletes, high character, high floor, high ceiling. What's everyone mad about? You know, I don't get it. I love this draft. This is, again, about setting the foundation, creating a culture. If you guys want the Titans to take chances on guys like Mike Green, like the Ravens did, or guys like Luther Burden, or like what the Eagles do every year, if you want to do that, you have to earn that privilege by creating a locker room that can actually absorb those character risks and turn them into the best version of themselves. The Titans are not ready to do that right now. You got to crawl before you walk. And the Titans are trying to crawl their way out of being the worst roster in the NFL. And I think they've done a great job. So weapons on weapons, high character value players, a great day 3 for the Tennessee Titans. I think they knocked it out of the park. And with what they were able to do on day 1 with Cam Ward, following that up by getting Femi Oladipo, one of my favorite edge rushers in the class, Kevin Winston, who I think could be a star in the NFL, working on his tape right now. As soon as I get off here, I'm diving back into the film for you guys. So high on Kevin Winston. To do that, and then to follow it up with these 6 picks, absolutely fantastic. I'm going to be doing my grades for the Tennessee Titans draft. I'm going to give an overall grade to the draft. I'm going to grade each trade that they made, and I'm going to grade all 9 picks on Monday's show to recap the entire draft weekend. But that is going to do it for today's day 3 recap. I am your host, Tyler Rowland, and this was Locked On Titans.